States. He was, the Household Cavalry Mounted Regiment is a cavalry regiment of the British Army, and they're tasked primarily with ceremonial duties, and it is part of the Household Division, and it is classed as a regiment of guards and carries out mounted ceremonial duties for the state and royal occasions. And they are here in Tobago for a very special exercise, not just in Tobago, but also in Trinidad as well. So joining me on set are two members. We have Captain Harry Stone, and he is a captain of the Household Mounted Regiment, Household Cavalry Mounted Regiment, and as well as Miss Captain Karl Scholes, and he is a riding master of the Household Cavalry Mounted Regiment. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having us. It's brilliant to be here.
And certainly, of course, welcome to Tobago.
It's a lovely place to be.
So tell me about the regiment itself. What is it? Give us a little bit of details, because we here are not necessarily so familiar with some of these different things that are based out in the UK.
Okay, so the Household Cavalry is a regiment in the British Army, and it's split into two sections. So you've got the warfighting side, which is the armoured vehicles, and you've got the ceremonial side, the ceremonial operations side. What we're here for is a ceremonial operations side, so working with the animals and the horses. And our main job is a sovereign's escort to His Majesty the King of England and Great Britain. And what we do on parade is ceremonial, yes, but we also offer a form of protection for ceremonial escorts. So things like King's Birthday Parade, state visits, for instance, where foreign dignitaries will come over and be escorted, our state opening of Parliament, and a number of other things that we'll bring up. Also with that as well, we have our daily duty, so our King's Lifeguard, which is the ceremonial guard at Whitehall in London, which is the ceremonial entrance to Buckingham Palace. And we use that area regularly for the route in which the escorts go down. But that's the sort of the roles and responsibilities. We have some minor tasks as well in support of the British government, if any tasks come up, but mainly that ceremonial operational role.
So tell me a little bit also about your involvement in Trinidad and Tobago and your presence here, and what led to that?
Yeah, so I think I can probably offer and talk a bit about that. So in terms of when the relationship started, it was in 2019, and we were very lucky. The previous British High Commissioner to Trinidad and Tobago basically reached out and worked with our previous commanding officer, Colonel Paddy Williams. And he sort of came out here, and there was an opportunity for us to both learn from each other. And I feel that maybe some future engagement would be a really good thing sort of between the two nations, so we can sort of move forward in how we ceremonially do things. So they came out for about a week back in 2019 and saw that there really was a strong opportunity to come here and further sort of engagement between sort of Trinidad and Tobago and the UK and the sort of the TTPS mounted branch and the mounted cavalry. So that's where it sort of started. And as a foothold of the engagement and how it started off is when they went back to the UK, two of our horses were initially named Trinidad and Tobago,
wow.
Which is fantastic, and they're very lovely to ride. And I think, they're some of the favourites up in my regiment's line, which is the Blues and Royals. And then initially it was sort of meant to take off reasonably quickly, but obviously due to COVID, it got delayed slightly. And so, we're very happy to now be here and have been facilitated by the current British High Commissioner, Her Excellency Harriet Cross, and Superintendent Super of the Mounted Branch, who've hosted us fantastically. And we're really excited to be here sort of 5 years after it initially kicked off.
Certainly. And what's been that experience working with the Mounted Police in Trinidad?
It's been fantastic. So there's been a definite exchange of ideas, which is very, very good. We've also got to know our teams as well. So there's not just us, there's another two members to the team that are away doing a little bit of interaction today. And interacting with the teams and learning from each other it's been great fun. But it's been really, really good as well, because that's what we do. We want to impart knowledge, but we want to take different experiences in as well. Looking at sort of the vets and the farriery, that's worked really, really well with regards to welfare for the horses. Working with the instructors as I've been doing, different training methods and sort of bringing ideas from sort of that part of the world to here, and obviously I've been taking some ideas from this part of the world away, and also with the saddlery, the craft of leather working and building saddles, fitting saddles, things like that. So it's all worked really, really well, and they've been really, really welcoming, and there's been a really, really good cross section of ideas, which I think is fantastic.
And then in Tobago now, you've also been working with Healing for Horses, and I know you guys were there yesterday. How was that experience?
Yeah, so it was a fantastic experience actually going and meeting sort of the team at Healing with Horses, because I think it's a really good thing to see that actually when horses that have injuries or maybe are retired from their working life, and going and understanding that maybe how that's used and how they're looked after. And then when you look at maybe the ecotourism side of things within Tobago was fantastic to see. And when we were at Healing with Horses, we had a great opportunity to meet some of the THA veterinary team and also some of the sort of government veterinary team from here. And I definitely think the level of expertise that they had within that was incredible to see. And I think bringing the lifespan of those horses on and sort of the care that's taken for them and the love that's taken for them is definitely something that we can look to take back. And I think the interaction that we've had with Healing Horses throughout our trip, not just yesterday, where we've met them and sort of discussed the possibility of some of the horses from the TTPS mounted branch taking a break over there and then coming back in. And I think it's opened up some really interesting lines of communication for the future.
Certainly. And what's been so special for both of you to be able to work with the horses and so on?
I think for me, the UK has a very specific way of working, and it's been really interesting just to see the different ways. And I think one thing I loved was how much every rider here knows their animal and knows their horse. So I noticed it on the first day I went riding with the mounted police. I went up and jumped on a horse and he just went, oh, yep, here's every single characteristic of that horse and how it works. And I went, wow, that's incredible. Do you ride them regularly? And he was like, no, I just sort of know every single horse in the yard, and then gave me a rundown of the horse that Karl was riding and the one that our vet Naomi was riding. And I think that sort of care and understanding for the animal has been a really exciting thing for me to see, and something I personally would love to take back to the UK, I think.
Would you like to see just us having a bigger force, a bigger mounted branch force here in Trinidad and Tobago?
There's definitely routes for expansion. And if you've got the people and the resources, equipment, etc., to do it, then it's not going to hurt. Let's put it that way. But the people you've got there are very keen to take it forwards. Certainly, the group of instructors that I was working with, they were like sponges. They were just taking in all the information and asking question after question after question, which, from my perspective as a career instructor, is really nice to see. Having a student wanting to soak up the information, constantly asking us if we wanted to stay a bit longer, but afraid, as much as I'd like to, we can't.
So how long are you staying?
So we're in the country until sort of Monday, where we fly back to the UK, unfortunately, which is a dreadful thought when you think about the weather in the UK versus the beautiful sort of Caribbean weather at the moment. But I think what we're really excited about is, although we're leaving sort of this weekend and that we're coming towards the end of our trip, which is very sad, but it's the idea for the future engagement. I think when this project got set up between the British High Commissioner and also sort of the Mounted Regiment, it was always the idea for a long-term endeavour. And I think while we've worked with the Mounted Branch and worked with Healing with Horses out here in Tobago, and we've sort of met the Chief Secretary of Tobago, and I think the discussions that have happened about the opportunity to bring champions potentially back to the UK to train in the future and bring our teams back out here, and also discussions have happened around the potential opening of a Mounted Branch in Tobago and how we could come out and sort of look at that and maybe offer some advice, and again get them back to maybe give us some advice in the UK. And I think the opportunity for that future engagement is deeply, deeply exciting, and I think a relationship we're very much looking forward to continuing in the future.
And are you looking forward to coming back?
Oh, absolutely. I think I will be back here, both hopefully in a professional and personal capacity at different points, I'm sure.
And let's talk about that a little bit. What have you loved so much about being in Tobago and even in Trinidad?
I think for me it's been the culture of how well everyone hosts you and looks after you. It's incredibly sort of warm and vibrant culture where people have received us so well. And I don't think I've ever been away, both personally or professionally, somewhere where I've been quite so well looked after. I mean, the team at the Mounted Branch have just been so kind with both their time and their expertise and looking after us and imparting their knowledge with us. I think for me that's been the one thing that I'll take back to the UK, and I think it's made me realise that maybe when I host people, I've been put to shame actually slightly by how well they've looked after us out here.
Well, for me, definitely the beaches. Oh, the beaches were incredible, absolutely incredible. But talking on a more like professional basis, I mean, certainly everybody wants to learn where we've been. Everybody wants to learn, and they're all interested. I also learned how to lime. That was great fun. But certainly, in a professional perspective, is that everybody wants to learn, and I want to learn as well. So that interaction where we came together, even on day one when we'd never met each other, and that was great.
That cultural exchange.
It was absolutely wonderful. Yeah.
All right. Well, I just want to thank you all for being on with us, and certainly for being here within our country, and seeing how we can learn from each other, because that is so important as we try to uplift the standard of our mounted branch police.
Well, no, thank you so much for having us, and it's been an amazing experience, as I said, to be here in both sort of Trinidad and Tobago and experience both sides and see how everyone works. And I think there's definitely a few points that we will take back to the UK and look to implement from the experience we've had. So a wholehearted thank you to you for having us on, and also everyone else in the wider country for hosting us. It's been fantastic.
And probably when you go back, you could tell them about that experience of being able to take a horse out into the beach. So.
I'm not going to stop talking about it.
All right. Well, then thank you both for being on, and certainly enjoy the rest of your time here in Tobago and in Trinidad, and we hope to see you again very soon.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
All right, great. All right, viewers, we got to go for a break, but we've got more coming up for you on GMT, so don't go anywhere.